Hi, everybody. My name is Jonathan Lamb. I'm the lead calculus professor here at Pellissippi State. I want to welcome you to our calculus course this semester. And of course, this class is taught asynchronously online. So some of you I may get an opportunity to meet throughout the semester, whether in person or through these Zoom sessions like this. Others of you I may never meet. Regardless of the case, please know I am rooting for every one of your success as you go throughout this class. This class can be really challenging for quite a few people. I'm willing to do whatever I can to make sure that not only you succeed in this class, but that you enjoy your work throughout this class. Let me go ahead and share with you my screen to show you how this course is going to run this semester. Do it here. So you'll see here on our D2L or Brightspace page, I should say, I'm of course introducing myself, Jonathan Lamb. Uh, Glad to be working with you this semester. Integral calculus is typically the hardest of the calculus sequence. We're going to do everything that you did in Calculus 1, but we're going to do it in reverse. So in Calculus 1, you learned how to take the derivative. Now we're going to undo that differentiating process with the integral. And with derivatives, you always had rules. Whenever we go backwards, unfortunately, we're not always going to have rules. We just have techniques. And those techniques sometimes work and sometimes they don't. But it makes it more fun, actually. Hopefully that you'll think so as we work the problems throughout the semester. The only thing Calculus 3 will add to your calculus tools after this class is it adds in the third dimension. So everything's still two-dimensional in Calc 1 and Calc 2, but now we're doing the integrals, the reverse of derivatives, and then for Calc 3, you'll add in the z-plane and do Calc 1 and Calc 2 problems with it. Now, as far as this class, like I say here, I'll post as much as I can to help you. You'll find lecture videos for each section, help videos for each of the Achieve homework assignments. Achieve is the online homework management platform that I use for this class. And one thing that I hope you find as a big help is that I have not asked you to work any problem all semester long that I've not already worked myself. So as you do your homework assignments, if you run into a problem that just stumps you and you say, oh my gosh, what are they wanting? All you'll have to do is pull up where I've worked each homework assignment. What I did with the Achieve assignments is I just started a video just like I'm doing right now and did a video of me working every single one of the Achieve assignments. And your problems are just a regenerated version of mine. So if my problem is integrate x squared minus 5x, your problem might be to integrate 2x squared minus 3x. If you know how to do one, you'll know how to do the other. So it should be, hopefully, a good resource for you as you try to work problems throughout this fall semester. Uh, You'll see I've posted other things. I'll have the author's solutions manual if you'd like to look at the book homework solutions. Uh, I also have what I provide to my traditional Calc 2 class. Some of those students don't do the Achieve online homework platform. They work book homework problems instead. So I've posted what I would do for my book homework solutions online as well. They're not assigned for you, but if you want an extra resource with additional problems to practice with detailed solutions, then that would be something you may want to look into. And I'll point that out on the next page when we're there. Um, Now, if there's anything else I can make available after you get through with this video or anytime throughout this semester, if you think, I really wish he would do this, let me know. I've tried my best to provide you with everything that I think you'll need to be successful in the class. but I'm always looking for ways to improve and extra resources to provide. I never taught an online class until 2020 when the pandemic happened. I'm still not quite comfortable teaching in this format. I much prefer talking and interacting with people in person in the traditional classroom still. But I will do my best to help you out any way I can throughout this semester. Now, it's worth noting that please, 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 in fact, I hope as soon as you get done with this video, register for the Achieve Online Homework Management System. You'll have a training assignment on that management system that has a deadline. I believe it's August 26th. So about a week and a half um, for you to get credit on that assignment. And it's just a simple training assignment, making sure you know how to use the platform. And then after that, you'll see the assigned sections starting with chapter 5.1 going on all the way through the end of the semester up to section 10.6. So we'll cover 5.1 through 10.6 out of the Rogowski calculus book, and of course work the accompanying online assignments for it. Now, I'll go ahead. Oh, and by the way, everything of any of any resource, of anything that you need to do in this class, it's going to be located under the content tab. I'm not going to put any course activities, so you're not going to have anything under the assignments, nothing under discussion, quizzes, or surveys. Of course, I will post grades. The calendar link will not be used. This is an asynchronous course. So I'm not going to tell you what to do every single day. I'll give you recommendations on my policy sheet and pacing guide on where you need to be, and it has test deadlines and stuff. But I don't want to tell you day by day what you must do. I want to give you more freedom than that. Let's go ahead and look into what the policy sheet and how this class will run. Here we go. So, as I've said, my name is Jonathan Lamb. I'd love for you to come see me in person. I'm in the Haslam building, the new math building, 2057 is the office. And if you want to contact me outside of that, outside of coming to see me in person, please feel free to contact me on the cell. I have that number here. First time you contact me, please send me a text with your name and what class you're a part of, and then that gets you in there. Otherwise, I'm not going to reply if I just see an anonymous text or call and stuff like that. I'll need to know who you are first. As far as email, please use the jwlam@pstcc.edu email. I strongly prefer you to use that to contact me versus the email system here in Brightspace. I will reply to the email system, and I'm pointing to the little envelope that lets you access the Brightspace email system. I will use that, but you'll always have a slower response from me as opposed to using this email or the cell. Both of those go to my phone, so it's very quick and easy for me to reply to it. The only way I can reply to Brightspace emails is if I'm within the Brightspace email system itself. So it just makes it a little bit more cumbersome and time consuming. Now, I will send you scans of all of your graded tests through the Brightspace email system. That's just for test security, and it keeps it all within the system. So those will be my only interactions with the Brightspace email, other than replying if you do contact me that way. But best contact methods, normal email or the cell phone number. Now, as far as the Zoom sessions this semester, anytime you need additional help, you let me know. We'll set up Zoom appointments. I'll plan to be on Zoom, as you see here, Monday through Thursday, 12:15 to 1 and 5 to 5:45. Both of those times, you don't have to set up anything in advance with me. I'm telling you, I will be on Zoom at that time, you just click this link and you'll come right into my Zoom room and we can talk about whatever you need to help you out in the class. So if those times aren't convenient, we'll set up other times. So all you have to do is email and or text me and tell me what you're having trouble with. It might be as simple as me being able to create a video of a problem that you're having trouble with to explain what you're doing wrong and just sending it to you back an email. Or if it requires an actual Zoom meeting, then we'll do that too. I'm willing to help you out and however you feel is best. Now, as far as the course catalog description, as I've been saying, this is integral calculus. We will do integration, sequences, and series this semester. We'll do real world physics problems, some engineering, economics, and maybe a little bit of biology. As far as course materials, our calculus book, if you actually have the book, is the Calculus with Early Transcendentals by John Rogowski. It is available online and stuff like that. You could search for it. My guess is if you want a physical copy of the book, nowhere is going to have a cheaper price than our bookstore. Now, it's a loose leaf version in the bookstore. It's $40. Now, there might be a slight markup on that, so $40 to $45. It was $40 last year. If you do want a physical copy, it's approximately $40 in our bookstore. Now, the reason that that's not needed is because your enrollment in this class automatically charged you $50, and that was for access to the Achieve platform. And on that platform, there's an ebook included as well as the homework management system. You'll notice also on this page under the course content, I have a scan of every chapter of the book that we'll use for this semester. So you can get the ebook off of the Achieve platform or through what I've scanned and posted here for you online. So there's no need for a physical copy of the book unless you just like something physical to look through. Myself, I do. I like to have that thing. I can flip pages and read them and stuff like that. So I would still want a physical copy. If you're in that case, then the bookstore is probably your best route. Or you could always print out a few pages from the scan I have posted here on Brightspace or from the ebook on Achieve. Now, as far as calculator, this class is not very calculator dependent. You are absolutely welcome to choose any TI calculator that you want. TI 89s and 92s are not allowed. The TI Inspire calculators are absolutely fine as long as it's not the Inspire CAS, the computer algebra system, that has any ability to do symbolic manipulation. So if your calculator can say x plus x is 2x, then it's not allowed for this class. So it cannot treat variables as variables because in addition to saying x plus x is 2x, it can also tell you that the integral of x squared is x cubed over 3. And we don't want it to do that. We want you to be able to do that, not your calculator. But any other calculator that doesn't have that symbolic manipulation capabilities is fine. As far as using the testing center, I will send them, with every test, I will send them a list of approved calculators. And if your calculator is not on that list, they will not allow you to use it for your test. So if you use anything other than the normal TI-84s, the non-CAS TI Inspires, let me know so I can add it to the list. Some people use Casio FXG series, which are fine. Not as good, but they're fine. So some other ones that are okay, just let me know so I can be sure to let our test proctors know that that calculator is okay, so you don't have trouble whenever you try to take your test in our testing center. As far as help resources this semester, and I put it in bold because I mean it. I hope I am your first point of contact for any help this semester. I'm eager to ensure that you're successful in this class. Now, I'm not being obnoxious here when I say no one will know more about the problems. Well, I'm not the smartest Calc 2 person, but I promise you, no one's going to know how to help you out in my class more so than me. I've had students in the past that said, well, I worked with a friend who just recently had Calc 2, and well, that might be of some help, but they're not going to know specifically the type of problems that I'll be stressing for you to know how to do on tests and stuff. I know that, so I'll know how to help you more so than anyone else in my class. So please, please let me help you whenever you are having any trouble. Now, sometimes you're going to need a different perspective, and that's not a bad reflection on you, nor is it a bad reflection on me. It's just you need some different, fresh perspective to make whatever's going on in the problems click in your head. We have a wonderful academic support center filled with capable math tutors. Most all of them are really good through Calc 2. So please let them give you or please give them a chance to give you some help this semester too. They will have in-person and virtual tutoring Monday through Friday. So I've got a link here. You can click that and go to their hours after this semester has been finalized. So our Brightspace page, like I mentioned earlier, I've worked hard to make sure that you have a lecture video for every section we're going to cover this semester. And then I'll never ask you to work a problem I've not done and explain something similar to myself. I'll also post the book homework solutions, author solutions manual, and I've posted PowerPoint notes. Now, you'll notice in my instruction lectures, it's mainly just I wanted to do the same thing I would do in the classroom. So my lectures here are me writing out and teaching the class just like I would be in the classroom teaching it. I don't like to teach from PowerPoints, so I don't do that in class. I don't do that online. However, I thought that you might like to see what the author's PowerPoint notes would be for each of these sections. So that's posted too. You can go in and see what the PowerPoint be for each section. It's just a good way to see the author's summarization of ideas from each section that you're going to cover. So that might be another good resource for you. As far as our classroom policy and procedures, of course, this class is asynchronous. As such, the only attendance required is your appearance at each of the 4 required tests. So you can go to any testing center for each of the tests. So the testing centers, that's of course, the main Hardin Valley campus. We have the Blount County campus, Division Street campus, Strawberry Plains campus, Magnolia campus. So that's 5 different testing center locations that you could use throughout the semester. Now, the only time that I'm not going to allow you to use all 5 is for the final exam. Just to make sure I get your test back for the final exam, I only allow you to test on the main campus, the Hardin Valley campus, for that. But the earlier 4, you can use any testing center you want, and they send those through campus mail to me. Then of course I grade them. You might have a slight delay in how fast your test is graded if you choose another campus versus the main campus, just because of it takes 2 to 3 days through campus mail to get to me sometimes. So, just don't be upset if it takes a little bit longer for your grades when you know other people have already got their grades back. Now, as far as the homework, that's going to be on the Achieve online homework management system. We'll take a look at that here in just a second. Your Achieve homework grade is going to be worth 40% of your overall course grade. What this means is that your effort and work online is going to determine 40% of your class average. I have a very high percentage of students in this class that get a 100% for 40% of their overall course grade, which then means that that gives them more leeway to not do as well on my tests, uh, if as long as they're doing really well on the homework. So they could have a 70 test average, but by the time I put in their homework, their overall course grade is an 82 instead of a 70. Or they could have a 60 test average, which hopefully it wouldn't be a 60 test average. But even if it were, once you factor in the online homework, that 60 would become a 76. So a grade that would be an F becomes a pretty high C, if you factor in that homework. With the homework, yes, it should easily, I don't want to say easily, but yes, it should be very possible to get a 100% because I give you unlimited attempts at every problem. And again, remember, if you struggle with any problem, all you have to do is look at my video where I'm working a very similar problem and it should show you what you're doing wrong. In the case where looking at my video doesn't help, all you have to do is email, text, or somehow contact me and let me know, hey, I'm struggling with, let's say, for example, number 17 in section 5.4. I would be able to pull up your exact problem for number 17 and 5.4, and we can talk about that together. Again, as long as you're proactive and you work through the homework, that should be a pretty much guaranteed excellent grade in the class for that portion of it. Like I said earlier, the JWLAM at pstcc.edu or my cell number is the best contact methods. We'll have 4 tests throughout the semester. Since 40% of the grade is going to come from homework, the remaining 60% comes from tests. That means each of the 4 tests is worth 15% of the final grade. Every time I place a test in the testing center for you, you're going to have a full week window to take it in the testing center. So it will be available one Saturday and it will stay available all the way through the next Saturday. So that's 7 days, since the testing center is not open Sunday, but it'll be Saturday and then Monday through Friday, and then the following Saturday, 7 days to allow you to test in the testing center. Now, please keep in mind, while there's no time limit for you completing tests in the testing center, you automatically limit your own time by whatever time you choose to go in there. So, for example, if you know the testing center closes at 2 p.m. on a day that you choose to go in there and you go at 1 p.m., well, you've limited yourself to 1 hour on the test, which that's not a wise idea on my tests. Most of my tests will take 2 hours, I would imagine. Some, like test 3, for example, that's the longest, could take up to 3 hours. So just make sure you allow yourself plenty of time in the testing center to take the test. I don't limit the time, but you automatically limit your own time based upon what time you go in. Now, the final exam is optional in this class. You'll see it says the final exam will be available December 1st through 6th, and it's only for those wanting to replace an earlier test grade. So if you miss a test 1 through 4, or if you just bomb a test 1 through 4, then you need to take the final exam. And that final exam can replace that low grade and obviously really help you out. So the final exam cannot hurt you if you take it. It can only help, but it can only help if it's higher than your lowest test grade out of the earlier 4. Ways that you can ensure yourself a good grade in my class is to stay on track. While this is an asynchronous class, please try to stay with the weekly assignments, or else you're going to find yourself to where you can't learn the material fast enough in the time to catch up with the material before the test. So don't fall behind and try to do many sections right before the test dates. That's not effective for many students. So many times I've heard, well, I thought I could do it. I thought it would work for me. I've heard it so many times, and every time I've heard it, it hasn't worked for that student. So I would much rather you be proactive and work ahead um, than get behind and trying to make it up. Ideally, you just stay on the path of my suggested pacing, and then everything should be good. Students who work diligently have essentially no chance of not doing well in this class. With hard work, the homework should help you gain the skills needed, plus the added benefit of the 40% guaranteed 100 grade. Okay, now let me go ahead and show you that recommended pacing guide. So as I've said, this class is asynchronous. I wanted to allow you some flexibility. And we talked about the tests. We'll see the schedule for the tests on this page. Some other things that I mentioned here is that please remember, as you start working throughout these assignments and stuff, to use the resources within this page to help you out. And after we get through with these sheets, I'll show you that again too. So what I've done here for the pacing is I wanted to show you, you can kind of think about it, break the class into the first 4 weeks, weeks 4 through 7, weeks 7 through 12, and then weeks 12 through 15. That would be the breaks for all 4 of our chapter tests throughout the semester. And at each of these times, you're going to have a homework set due online. So for example, this first set of homework that we're looking at is going to be chapter 5.1 through 5.6. After the deadline for this section, September 9th, that set of homework on Achieve will no longer be accessible. Well, it'll be accessible, but you can't earn points on it after September 9th. So you have to be done with it by that date. Now, of course, the reason I want you to be done with it by that date is that's also going to be the deadline for your first exam. So you can either think of your timing in these periods like I have right here, or if you prefer more of a weekly suggestion, you'll see this first week of classes, in addition to watching this training video, sorry, this introductory video, I'm wanting you to do the training assignment on Achieve, and then you should be working on 5.1 and 5.2 on Achieve. Now, obviously, you don't work on the Achieve assignments until you've watched my lecture videos for those too. So you'll see up here, I detail it a bit more. So please watch all lecture videos 5.1 through 5.6 in these first 4 weeks. So this first week, 5.1 and 5.2. Then you'll work the accompanying Achieve homework assignment for those sections. There's also a training assignment that's is before 5.1 that has a deadline of August 26th. The remainder of the 5.1 through 5.6 material will have a deadline of September 9th. Your first test will be available in the testing center beginning Saturday, September 2nd, and it'll be available through Saturday, September 9th. So now if you follow my pacing down here, you'll be perfectly ready for it. So the first week, section 5.1, 5.2, second week, 5.3 through 5.5. The third week, you should work section 5.6, and then go ahead and go over what I think you'll, or what I hope you'll think is I have a very thorough practice exam 1 posted online. I've already got it there. In addition to the practice exam 1, I have written solutions for that practice exam, and I also have video solutions for that practice exam 1. Now, the actual exam 1 will be the exact same type of questions, just with the numbers different. You can think of the similarity in my practice exams and the actual exams to the same similarity as your homework assignment and the homework assignment I've done in the videos. No problem is going to be exactly the same, but every problem is going to be extremely similar, all the same types. So if my practice exam has a problem where it's integrating a product of two functions, then I promise you on the test, you'll have the integral of the product of two functions. It's just the specific problem within would be different, but it'd be the same type of problem. So those practice tests that I have posted should help you out a lot. Now, those exams, like I said, will be available for an entire week in the testing center. And then immediately after that period's over, I'll go over and pick up the tests and I will grade, scan, and email you your graded test so you can see what you did right and did wrong pretty quickly after that test. So first test ends Saturday, September 9th. By the Tuesday after, you should have your test back graded. I believe in immediate feedback if at all possible, and I promise I'll be pretty quick with them. Now, again, if you take a test very late in the testing window and you use another campus, it may be, or there may be a delay before I can actually get the tests in my hands to have it graded and back to you. So in those cases, it might take a little bit longer, but even in that situation, it wouldn't be any more than 2 or 3 days beyond anyone else in the class. Now, after that first test period, you can see, then we move into the homework set 5.7 through 6.4. And you would watch the videos I have posted online and then try the Achieve homework assignments. And then by September 23rd, be ready for that second test. You could take it anytime between September 23rd and September 30th. And of course, on September 30th, that second set of Achieve homework assignments becomes due. After September 30th, you could not work any problem in a section preview or before 6.4 for any credit. It allows you to access the sections, but not to work the problems for credit. So while you can't work backwards, you can always work ahead. So let's say you take the test early in this period, you have all of your Achieve homework assignments done, and it's September 25th, and you're like, wow, I kind of want to work ahead. Well, you can. You could work all of chapter 7. You could even go into chapter 10 and work some of those problems. So you can always work the problems in advance. It's just after these deadlines, you can't work the sections before. Now, in the event that something comes up and you have to miss a section, you can't do it. I'm glad to go in and make some overrides occasionally for students to allow them to access sections, but it just can't be a continual reoccurring thing. So every now and then, if something comes up and you need to go back and work a section, please feel free to let me know. I'm glad to help out, but I just don't want to do that too often because I want you to be responsible and have the work done before the test comes up. So you see the schedule throughout the rest of the semester. If there's any questions on it, please let me know. We'll be glad to go over whatever you need. Now, again, whether you like to think about, well, what should I really be doing on a week-to-week basis? That's fine. That's what I have here. Or if you want to be more flexible and say, well, okay, where's my deadlines? The deadlines for the course are September 9th, September 30th, November 4th, November 22nd, and of course the very final deadline, final exam week, the final exam work, December 6th. Those would be the times at which a test is due and all of your Achieve homework for a section is due. So whether you want to think about it as that or just what should you be doing each week, whichever way you prefer, I wanted to give you that flexibility. Myself, I would rather follow the week to week, but sometimes you'll be stressed in another class and you may have to put a little bit more emphasis onto your studying in another class. That's where this might help you a little bit more and just make sure you finish up by the deadlines there. Okay, now back to our course content page. Now, next thing after the beginning of semester papers, you'll see the Achieve ebook and management platform. And on that, whoops, you have, there we go. You have the ebook and the actual just direct link to Achieve. Now, when you hit this, and this is, I want to make sure I point this out. I already have the pop-ups allowed on my computer, so it's not going to do it. But the first time you hit this Achieve, you're going to think it's a dead link. It's going to go to this page and just stop. And it's not going to go to the actual Achieve website. What I'll need you to do is to go up into your browser and make sure that you've enabled pop-ups to Macmillan Learning. So you actually have to hit the button for Achieve. Nothing's going to happen, but if you go up into your browser address window, you should see the little red where it's blocked a pop-up, and just make sure you enable pop-ups to Macmillan Learning. It's the only way Brightspace opens it up is it has to open it up in a new window or tab, of course. So make sure that you've enabled that, and then everything should be good. Once you go into there, I would suggest probably the easiest thing. Now, you could do course content that's got the book in with all of the assignments. I prefer just the assignments view. And then if I want to see the ebook, I go over here to the side and I choose ebook. You'll also see your grade book. It'll have your grades up to any point. Other resources out of the book. Those would just be publisher resources, solutions manual, and stuff like that for the normal book. Now, as far if when you look under the assignments tab, you'll see that very first assignment I was talking about, training assignment, has a due date of August 26th. It'll be worth 25 points. Then you'll go in and see your other assignments, and every assignment off to the right, you'll see the due date. The first set of assignments, 5-1 through 5-6, are all due September 9th. And then you'll see the assignments 5-7 through 6-4 due September 30th. Chapter 7-1 through 7-7, November 4th. 8-2 through 10-6 due December 1st. So you should have all of your online homework done prior to the final exam week. And then, of course, study for the final exam for those who need it after that, and have that completed by December 6th. Now, as you go through these assignments, you'll see that they're not all worth the same amount. So, for example, that training assignment, which was only showing on the previous page, yeah, it's just 25 points because it's simple. It shouldn't take you more than 5 to 10 minutes to do. For the sections in 5.1, sorry, in chapter 5, they're all just normal length. None of them's too long, none of them's too short. So you see they're 100 points apiece. When we start getting to some of the longer homework sections, I wanted to value them more. So you'll see 5.7, that's worth 200 points. 5.8, it's worth 200 points. The more there are points, the longer that homework section is, and the more it's going to factor into your overall grade. If you add up all of the points in this class, there's 3,025 points. What it will do is it'll just add up how many points you get through each of the sections, divide that total by 3,025 at the end of the semester, and it'll give you a percentage homework grade. Now, as you work through the homework in there, go back to here, you'll see I've posted Achieve Help videos. And in those Achieve Help videos, for example, if this page will load, come on. Finally, you'll see, for example, I've broken it down into, well, the chapters 5 through 10, and then within each section, just to keep the videos of a reasonable length, I've done them approximately 10 problems each. That also makes it easier to find the problem that you have questions on. For example, if you're working 5.1, and I'll go ahead and warn you, some of the problems towards the end of 5.1 get pretty tricky with these infinite summations. So please don't get frustrated as you work the first homework assignment and say, oh my gosh, some of these problems are tough. They are in this first section, but hopefully I've provided resources on here to get you through them. If it's not sufficient, that's where we need to go ahead and start working with each other and get you through the problems that you're assigned as needed. But for example, let's say you are struggling with number 26 and 5.1. You could pull up my video here where I've worked the problems 20 through 29. Now, since I need number 26, for example, I would kind of scroll through it and oh, wow, I'm working on 26. You can see it's highlighted on 26 right here, or actually yeah, I am. There we go. And you'll see I have 26 pulled up on my document camera, and I show you the work required. It's an infinite summation. How much area is under the curve 16x squared minus 4 from 2 to 5 using an infinite Riemann sum. So I explain the process of how I'm coming up with the material, and of course throughout the solution. Hopefully that's detailed enough to help you with the problem that you'll have. Occasionally you'll be assigned, sadly, the exact problem that I have. I don't think that's going to happen any more than, say, 1 out of 20 problems, but most of the time it'll be different, but occasionally it's the same. Now, if we go back here, yeah. So I have the videos for each of the sections and all of the problems like that. Every problem you work has the accompanying video problem. Sometimes you might say, well, I really don't need the video, I just need to see what he did. So in that case, I have just a scan of my work. So you'll see right here, scan of work from Achieve Help videos. You could go to 5.1. And sorry, with this Zoom open, my computer is going really slow. Yeah, there we go. In 5.1, if you just needed to see the work that I did for number 26, you could pull that up right there. And this is the same for every single section that you work. I have both the videos and just the written work if that's all you need. Now I'll go back to the table of contents. So I've talked about the Achieve Help videos. I've talked about the scan of my work from the Achieve Help videos. Your lecture videos are right here. Now, before you even go to the Achieve problems, you should be watching a lecture over the section that you're covering. You don't know how to do a section unless, well, hopefully you don't know how to do a section unless you go ahead and watch the video. So this would be what I would talk about in class in order to present the information. So it's just written information, same thing I would do if I were in a classroom using the document camera to introduce a concept. Now, as you watch these, you can always maximize the screen here in Brightspace and watch the videos that way. I would much prefer you to do it that way than to say, well, I'll just go out to YouTube. The downside of watching it on YouTube is it does not enable me to see that you are watching it. When you click on a link here in Brightspace and you watch the whole video along, on my instructor account, it allows me to scroll to the bottom of this video, and it shows me your name. Yes, you accessed the video and the amount of time that you watched the video, or at least had the video playing. Yes, I know somebody could hit play and walk away and then come back and say, haha, they watched it for the whole 1 hour and 1 minute. I realize it may not be the case, but it shows me how long that you did watch it. I'll have some students that'll contact me throughout the semester and saying, I don't know why I'm not getting the concepts. What's going on? And then I'll check, and they haven't watched a single lecture video. And I'm like, how are you supposed to learn it if you're not going over my videos in the first place? So please make sure you do watch the lectures. That's the same thing as attending class. In a normal classroom, you would fail the course if you're not attending class. Attending class in this class is watching the lecture videos to make sure that you're getting the content you need before going and just trying to work homework on it. Now, I'm excuse me, I mentioned this earlier, the practice tests. Your first test is going to be this 5.1 through 5.6 test. You'll notice I already have solutions and video solutions posted for it. And then your second test is 5.7 through 6.4. Again, I have solutions and video solutions posted for it. Third test will cover 7.1 through 7.7. I have solutions, and actually my Zoom messed up in the midst of making the video for this one. So I have two videos for it, one covering 1 through 8, and then the other one covering 9 through 17. But I have a video solutions for that as well. And then practice test 4, test 4 will cover 8.1 through 10.6. I have the solutions for that, and again, the video solutions. And then for those who need to take the final exam, I'll have your practice final exam with solutions. Obviously, it's already posted as well. But for this first test, let me go on in here. I promise you, whenever you go to the testing center to take test 1, your test 1 will have 11 problems. And I promise you also, your test 1 will essentially look like this. So test 1 is going to look very similar to this. I promise you, number 6, it'll say use a Riemann sum to find the integral from something to something of some polynomial function like that. It will be a very, very similar problem. Problem 1 will be the integral of a problem in which it's wanting you to simplify a function algebraically before you integrate. That's the purpose of that question 1, is it's wanting you to understand anytime there's algebraic simplification to be done first, it must be done first before you integrate. Here I would have to divide the x into each term in the numerator first and foremost before I use the power rule and the natural log to integrate that. A similar problem on another test is I could put two binomials inside the integral multiplying one another. I would need you to know that you have to FOIL out those binomials before you can integrate. Those two problems are the same concept to me. You have to do the algebra before the integral. Now, other problems throughout here, you can see each one is going to be problem by problem, very similar from the practice test to the actual test. Like I said, I have all of your practice tests already worked out for you. Hopefully you'll find in detail showing all of the work required for each of the problems. And then if just the written solution's not enough, and you need to hear me talk about why, then you can watch my video solutions for it too. So that's all there where I talk about why I did what I did for each of the practice tests. Now, if we go back to table of contents here, let's see. After practice tests, well, there's obviously nothing in this next one yet. Test solutions. Test solutions is going to be exactly what it is. Once we have a test this semester, I'll post any answers to it there. Let's see. Internet is going so slowly. There we go. So like I say here, I will post detailed solutions to each test question after the deadline for each test ends. Please compare these solutions with your graded work. You should receive an email with a scan of your graded work soon after the testing period ends. So for example, that first testing period is September 2nd through September 9th. Please don't expect if you go in and take the test September 2nd, don't expect your test back graded until after September 9th. I have to wait till the end of the testing period before I can grade and email you your scanned graded test back. Otherwise, other people would know what's on the test and stuff, and that would not be good. PowerPoint notes, if you want to see what the author has, PowerPoint notes in each section, that is provided for you. A lot of teachers would teach their lesson with those. I didn't want to be lazy and use those. I did my own notes, but I do think that there's some excellent notes here. I already talked about the scan of my work from the Achieve Help videos. If you want to see the notes that I used for my lecture videos, you just hit the notes from lecture videos. So in that lecture 5.1, where I'm trying to introduce that very first section that we talk about, anything that I use throughout my lecture, it's right here written out for you. So you can see the general case for finding area under a curve, where I try to talk about that. So it makes it to where you don't have to take notes as you're watching the lecture videos. You can, but you can also just pull this up and make sure you follow along with what I'm talking about that way too. It's whatever you find most beneficial. It's fine with me. Now, let's see. We have the scan of the Achieve videos, notes from lectures. Your book is both on Achieve. You can go to Achieve and hit the ebook link, and it'll show your book like this. So obviously we're starting in chapter 5. You could go to 5.1. Our first section is approximating and computing area. So you can go to it that way. And again, my Zoom is making my internet crawl. Come on. But I promise it would come up. I've lost patience for it though. You could also just hit the scan of each of the chapters I have here. The quality is probably better on the Achieve website. Yeah, there it is, finally. But the downside of this is that it's not going to allow you to print it too easily, whereas the scan that I have here, you can print it super easily. You can just pull up a PDF and tell your computer to print out from beginning one page to the other page that you want. No problem. If you did want to see what my in-class students have as book homework assignments, you can see my solutions to book homework assignments. So these very last two links, feel free to ignore them if you want. But these would be the in-class homework assignments for those students working problems out of the traditional textbook. Out of that previous link, you can pull up the book and see section 5.1 at the end and the homework in that section and say, well, okay, which problems did he lack out of the book in that section? And you can see the ones that I would have assigned out of that section and my solution to those problems. This would give you another resource. Oftentimes people say whenever they work the Achieve, is that, well, I wish I had more problems to see so I can make sure if I get it. If that's the case, go right here, go into the book, look at the end of the section, try the homework within the book, and then compare with my book homework solutions there. Even if you wanted to do problems that I didn't do, like you'll see I did problems 59 and 67 here. What if you wanted to try number 60 out of the end of the section 5.1 homework? You could do that problem and then, come on, page. And then you could, I'm sorry, this internet is killing me, guys. My computer's freezing. Then you could go to the author's solutions manual, and when you go to that, it'll have the solutions to every problem that's assigned in the textbook. Sorry, not just that's assigned, that is in the textbook. So I would rather you compare your work with my solutions, but if you're wanting to look at a problem that I didn't do, then you could easily compare it with what's on here. Okay, guys, I believe that that's all that we need to discuss here in this first one. As far as things to keep in mind, please, please, please go ahead and log into the Achieve homework system immediately. Try that first, do the first training assignment to make sure you have that done. And then, of course, the first set of homework is due September 9th after that. Let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to doing this course with you this semester. I think it's going to be a fun one.